Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to create a targeted lead list for any companies that are looking to send cold emails to a very specific niche, and also use Chat GPT to be able to sort through them and create one-liners for any of those leads that you could consider as being compatible with the niche that you're trying to service. We're going to create this on make.com as usual, plus use Google Sheets to be able to sort all those leads and organize all of them on there. So it's going to be a very simple scenario, which of course I'm going to leave in my Google Drive for you to be able to have access to once you sign up for the waitlist, which is available on the link in the description below. You'll have access to that for free when you sign up. And signing up is free as well. But I'll go ahead and show you what I am going to do today. So yes, the situation. You are a company that is targeting a very specific niche. You have a lead list with verified emails, but some of them do not seem to fit your niche exactly. So now you have to find a way to make this list more targeted. And what we're going to try and achieve with today's automation is to check if the leads are compatible with our company. And then if they are compatible, we will create an icebreaker, just a one-line icebreaker that you could use for a cold email campaign. And of course, it's going to be customized to that lead. So we will be using ChatGPT to be able to give us that text. So this is the list that I have. I pulled this out of Apollo. It's a pretty long list, and it has 949 emails in here. And these lists are targeted to home renovation companies within the entirety of the US. I just went ahead and pulled like 900 of them. So right now, this is where it's going to get a little interesting. So this list targets home remodeling companies or builders, contractors of that sort. So they'll do anything from flooring to plumbing to kitchens and baths. So everything. So the companies that I'm trying to target, I am trying to make sure that they are within that niche. So when you go and search on Apollo or any other lead sourcing software, what you'll find is you might come across some companies that might seem like they match that criteria. It's going to come up in that list, but not all of them are going to fit that list. So like right now, even right away, you can kind of see on here, there's some emails or companies that might not seem to match the description that I just gave you, which is home remodels and renovations. They all have limited this to 1 to 10 employees just to make it short and simple. But you can already kind of see that there's an IT company somewhere in here, and there's Savior Labs. So you might not get a perfect list. And by using ChatGPT to sort through their websites, what you're going to be able to do is hit two birds with one stone. You're going to be able to verify if they are actually within your niche, and two, you're going to be able to get some kind of text out of that as well. So this is the automation. Just to quickly go over what this is doing, is it's going to search that Google sheet that I had all the leads in. Then it's going to look at that lead's website, pass that website as text, and depending on whether or not that website was accessible, sometimes it wouldn't be. So if for some reason we cannot get an HTTP request to go through and we cannot read the website, then it's just going to come. I'm just going to list it on here as a invalid website description. And if we did get something out of that website, then we'll be able to clean this website up using these variables here. So what this is doing is it's going to take off any extra spaces and lines that you'll find in the HTML, in the text that you passed out from the HTML. And the reason for this is to save on token costs when we push all of that to ChatGPT. And then the next module is, of course, ChatGPT, which we are going to use to look at that website text, and we're going to give it some information about our company. And it's going to use that as a reference to look at that website and see whether or not this lead is actually the type of lead we want to service or provide services for. And what we're going to ask it to do at the end is to give us a JSON response as to whether or not they are, in fact, a valid customer, and a reason as to explain why they are or they are not a valid customer. Then I went and did a completion. So I just took a template, not a template, but a sample bit of text from a website, and had it give me the response for this as no, as they do not provide services. So this is just me giving a quick little bit of a training session to ChatGPT to ensure that it gives us quality results. And then I go ahead and then I put in the text that we pulled out from that website. The next thing that we do is we pass the JSON that ChatGPT gives out because we asked it to give it in JSON. Next, we pass that through a router where if it is a valid customer, we will create that personalized one-liner using this ChatGPT module. Again, you're a helpful, intelligent research assistant. And the message content on here is I will send you this company's information, take a look at it, and then create an icebreaker with 2 lines maximum. And use simple language and just give it a quick little example. And then I provide all the information for that lead. This is assuming it's verified. And then once the output is given, it's going to update the Google Sheet that I had. So what I did was I went ahead and made 3 columns on here as the reason. So this would be if this was a valid lead or not, yes or no, and then the one-liner is going to get populated in here. And I have everything here sorted in alphabetical order based on first name. And there we have it. So on here we have the updates row column. So it's looking at the Google Sheets, and I am putting into those 3 sections whether or not it's a reason, yes or no, or a result. Let me refresh this to make sure it has the correct headings. Reason, yes or no, and the GPT one-liner. And the same here. If it was not valid, then what this would show is the reason and yes or no, and of course there would not be any one-liner that you would use. And the reason we're putting this in here and not anywhere else, as we're not sending emails out of make.com, is because this is going to be a cold email campaign, which once you have everything collected into a Google Sheet, you can export it as a CSV file and then upload that into your cold email app of choice. One good example would be instantly.ai, but it could be anything else. If you have it all in one CSV file, then it's going to be very easy for you to just upload it onto there and then take care of the cold email campaigns out of that. Okay. So that is the entire scenario. Now I'm going to show you how I would create this from scratch. So I'm just going to create the identical scenario, but before that, I'm just going to run this so you can kind of see how this works. So we're going to run it. So it's going to look through our Google Sheet right here. And then you can see it already populating this space. Insurance services. So nope. But we got a first yes. And this one is they provide a wide range of supplies for contractors, making them suitable for automation. So Adam, your commitment to providing top-notch diamond products at unbeatable prices is impressive. I can help streamline your order processing to ensure you never miss a sale. It's impressive how Coastal Roofing Services has maintained an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau over 30 years. Imagine how much you could achieve. So in this sheet, the only things that we're looking at, the only things that are relevant for this automation are their first name, last name, company name. Of course, you need to have your email to be able to send this one-liner to, but that is not necessary for this automation. What is necessary is their website, their company website. Of course, Apollo gives you a whole bunch of other information as well, but what you need out of this is the company website. If you wanted to take a look at their LinkedIn, feel free to do so. You could probably use a tool like Phantom Buster to do that, but whichever so you prefer. This one is going to look at their website, company website, and see if their company is a reasonable or a potential lead that you could actually sell your services to. If you are going to be using this system, what you would go ahead and do is, depending on how you formatted your leads list, you can go ahead and make adjustments to where you are pulling the information, which cell or column you are pulling which specific information. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this right now because I don't need to finish this. I'll leave it as it is. So basically what you would do at this point is you could just sort it by yes or no and then delete the no's, so you won't have to worry about those. So you don't need to add that into a cold email campaign, which in essence would have been a waste of time for you to add anyways. So that's the beauty of this automation. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and create this from scratch to kind of show you how you would set up each module. Of course, you can go ahead and use the entire thing, but if you wanted the challenge to be able to create it from scratch, I'm going to show you now. So the very first thing is, of course, a Google Sheet. You want to search rows. And we are going to just set this to being on demand because we will not have this run frequently. Once we've done a specific sheet, that sheet is complete. So you'd be switching it out with a different sheet or refreshing it if you wanted to do it again. So of course you could make it a little more intricate. We'll discuss that in another video where you can automate the selection of the sheets. If you have multiple sheets, you can do that as well. But for now, for the sake of simplicity, we are just going to be focusing on a specific sheet. I have this connected to my Google Drive. So what I'm going to do is I am going to select from my Google Drive, and I already have this on here. So I'm just going to go pull out that specific sheet. If you have the name for the sheet, you can just go type it out and find it on there. And then open up the sheet name. So this, if you have multiple sheets in this Google workbook, then you're going to go and find that sheet. You won't need to filter this out for anything because you're going to go through all of them. Just sort them by ascending order and order by first name. That should be plenty. And we're good. The next thing you are going to do is get the website. So that's an HTTP request. You are going to make a request. And the URL that you're going to be making that request to is going to be from here. So let's run this module only for a second. Whoops. And the website. So that website is going to go in here. And we're going to do a get request. So what that's going to do is it's going to do a request to that URL and get the information out of that URL. The next thing we're going to do is pass the HTML to text with this text parser. So let's unlink this and run this real quick. I'll do it so we get one response. Okay, so we got one response out of here, probably two responses. One's a false. Now we can connect this. The only reason I'm doing this is so that we can see where the data is. So that passes the text. The next thing we want to put in is an error module, which is the ignore module right here. And the reason for this is sometimes some websites cannot be read. It might have some kind of a security filter or something that doesn't let you read it, and it's going to give an error. So in those instances, we're just going to use this to be able to just let the flow keep continuing and just go ahead with the next lead, if so. So once you have that, the next thing you're going to do is split it. So you're going to create a router with over here. And then, like I mentioned, if the website that you're trying to reach fails to be read, then you are just going to go ahead and update a row. And this is website failed, you could call it. And the condition for that is the text here does not exist. Again, it's the condition that you're setting is for the text to not exist. Because if this scenario fails, then it's not going to have any text to pass, and this is going to come out as being empty. And if it's empty, then this router is just going to send it directly through here because there is nothing to pass. And then what you're going to do is you can go ahead and enter this manually. So spreadsheet ID is directly from here. You could do that, or I just like to search for it directly because it kind of makes it a little easier to find each of the rows this way. At least I personally find it to be a little more easier to do it when you go and search for the specific sheet. It can be a little tiring, but it's pretty quick if you know where you keep your stuff and you're kind of organized that way. Which, to be fair, I'm not always, but anyhow. Okay, so once you have the sheet open, the row number that you're going to update is the same row that you started out with, right? So each and every flow of this scenario is going to be done per row. So the row that you read is going to be the row that you update. And what you're updating is in here. You are going to say in valid, what's it? I could put whatever else you want. And the reason I'm just putting it on there is because I've allocated that as the yes or no column. And next, I'm just going to go ahead and clone this real quick because we already have the sheet that we need. And the condition from here is that the text exists. This is website works. And when the website works, why did I do that? Oops. Because I'm trying to go and, I'm trying to go ahead and put in the verification when it hasn't even been verified yet. So we're going to use a completion to do the verification. So unlink, connect this, and connect that. So we're going to remove this filter because that filter is supposed to come in here. But before that filter comes in here, there's one more thing we need to do. And we are going to set a variable so that we will be able to save a lot of token costs with this. So website works and the text exists. And the variable that we're going to use is this. So what this does is it trims out the text and then replaces new lines with spaces. Right. And so at this point, let's save that on here as well. So we're going to create a completions, and I'm just going to go ahead and copy the prompts. So you won't have to watch me type out these prompts. Uh, okay. So the first message we do is going to be a system. The second one we do is going to be a user. Then user, assistant, and user. So first is the system, which is your helpful, intelligent assistant. And next is the user, which is basically our prompt. Next is that, whoops. Next is the sample. Man, what am I doing? That's the response from the assistant for the trained information. Next, lastly, is your trimmed text from here. And the max tokens I am going to set to 1200, and I am also going to drop the temperature down to 0.8. Doesn't really matter for this, but anywho, we'll see a little more of a relevance when we get to the next part. So here, once we have this, the next thing we need to do is to pass JSON. And we need to pass the JSON string that is provided from the result. And I am going to set a error module to resume if things go south. And we're going to run this. And force stop it over there. This does its completions, it checks it, yes, no. It's going to update in here as invalid website for some of these. It shouldn't say invalid website for those. Oh, sorry. The reason it says invalid website is because I didn't update this. The reason I had to do that, I had to run that, is so we can see what our JSON packet looks like. And now that we have that in here, we can go down here, take this away, and do the yes or no variable that came out of the JSON, and then our reasoning that came out of JSON, the past JSON. And once that's good, we will go to the next step, which is creating the one-liner. And that is going to be determined by whether or not this is a yes or a no. So right now, if this is equal to no, not valid lead. we are just going to... Oh, we really didn't need to put this back here, did we? No, we didn't. Uh, we did not need to put that back there. So this was it for this section. So this is when it's not a valid lead. And the next one is when it is a valid lead, what you would go ahead and do is clone this, because we are still going to be using our completions for this section, but that's going to be the same. This is going to change because right now, instead of asking them to look at the website, we are asking them to fix that. So yeah, instead of asking them to look at just the website and tell whether or not it is valid or not, here we are going to ask it to take a look at the website and give us that one-liner. So the company name we are going to pull out of here. Contact's first name is going to be from here and their last name is here. Just making sure I didn't miss anything else. We set our tokens and temperature and we are good. The next thing we will do is clone and yes, the reasoning is fine, and then our GPT one-liner is going to be the output result from here. Save. And again, to show you how this is going to work when we run it, I shall go ahead and delete the stuff that we did earlier in the video and go ahead and run this, the one that we just made. So every time there is a invalid lead, it's just going to show no. But why is it doing a one-liner for the no's as well? Oh, whoops. I know why. I didn't put a filter. So the filter right here is when it's no, it's gonna leave this. But here, we did not set the filter. It's careless of me. So when this is equal to, and only when this is equal to yes, valid lead. Don't forget the filters. All right, let's do that again. If you have all of that, now when it runs, and if there's a no, it shouldn't give you a one-liner. It shouldn't waste tokens trying to generate a one-liner, especially when you don't need it. And there we go. So, yep. And if there's an invalid website, it's just going to do that and then keep going. Perfect. So you can see how this would be really efficient when you have not, I mean, even with 900 emails to go through, this is already going to save you a lot of time. But imagine in a regular or proper cold emailing campaign where you have thousands of emails that you're trying to send. Every email, I would say, even though it's a big amount, every one of those emails is going to count. And when you have so many potential leads from a list, which by default wouldn't work for you anyways. This is a good way to sort all of that out and just take out and trim it down to, instead of it being tens of thousands of leads, you now have a couple of thousands of very high quality leads. Plus, you have a one-liner that you can send that is personalized to the work that they're doing, which you pull directly from their website. You can take it a step further and already have that information on hand so that if by chance they respond to you, you can send another personalized response to them based off of that information, which I think is a very simple and also sophisticated way to communicate with multiple people, especially if you are going to get multiple requests over time. And yeah, this is going to keep going. I'm just going to go ahead and switch this off. And that's about it for this automation. Again, I'll have it saved and uploaded onto my Google Drive folder, where I have all my other automations, automation scenarios kept in there. So once this video is done, you can go ahead to the link down below and subscribe to the waitlist for our community, which I know I was going to showcase sometime this month, but it is going to be put to the side for a little bit because, just a little bit of an update, I am working on a project, which is, I would say, a case study, and with time, I am going to give you glimpses of that. And this was a little bit of that case study. It's basically going to be automations targeted to localized businesses, B2B, a localized B2B business. I'm going to have a few automations set up for that, and I will be making a few videos on those said automations. So that way, any of you who are interested or currently work in a local B2B company, you'll find them very helpful. And I'm going to be working on that quite a bit for the next month or two. So I am, of course, going to have to postpone the start of the community, but I see that a lot of people are interested, and I am very grateful for the interest that you've given. So once I am done with my case study, I shall have more time to focus on the community, and then that way I'll be able to provide a better value for you and everyone else in the future. As of the recording of this video, every one of you will have a better experience with the community. But for now, that's about it, I guess. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Again, you can find the scenario or the blueprint for this scenario when you sign up for the community, and you'll be able to have access to every other scenario that I have created in the past as well. And again, if you watched this far, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you found this entertaining and informative, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the next video. Have a good day.